what's up, guys? We should be live. I see Andrew Barton in the chat. Hopefully our audio is all good. You guys want to say something really quick?
Up the Chelsea.
Do you say fuck the Chelsea? Oh shit, I didn't know. When did you become Chelsea?
It's a good one.
Okay, I think, Spencer, do you want to say something just to make sure your audio is all good?
Yeah, hello. How's it going? Evening, everyone. Evening, everyone tuning in.
Sweet. Okay, I think we are good. What's up, good people? I'm your FPL Thinking Cap, Benjy, and welcome back to the Peer Pressure Podcast. Got a big podcast today. Captaincy, premium structures, talking Sunderland as well. Let me just welcome our two co-hosts, Kayman. First, obviously, the top content creator rank on YouTube last season, 1.5k. How are you feeling this week, man?
Not very good, man. Had another shocker. It's not been the greatest start to the season, but otherwise I'm grateful, man. Alive, I'm doing well.
Cool.
And
And
United, and also United undefeated for 4 games in a row. So yeah, certain
oh,
fans
yeah.
been talking a lot, been chapping a lot. So yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, we did draw. We didn't lose. It's not the end of the world. But we also have Stark, whose Chelsea actually bounced back very nicely against Tottenham with a 1-0 win. Stark, how are you doing this week, man?
On top of the world, feel like a world champion. Because we are world champions. So sorry, yeah.
It's a preseason tournament, as Kayman likes to say. But anyways, we have a really special guest on today. He is a Sunderland fan. Sorry, guys. 7 top 100k finishes in a row. So he's also a very, very good FPL manager, very experienced. He's been in the scene for a long time. Let's welcome Spencer. How are you doing today, man?
Evening, yeah, all good. I know we're mentioning about world champions, but it's been a good couple of weeks in the Premier League and beating them as well. So couldn't quite do that against Man United, but yeah, looking forward to having a chat with you guys, especially about FPL. I know that hopefully I can add something to this conversation. I know you guys are pretty good at that, so let's see how it goes.
No, I'm sure you will. I think we're gonna get on very well. A little small dig at Stark early doors. That's exactly what me and Cayman like. Just a reminder, guys, go ahead and go to the link in the video description. It's gonna take you 5-10 seconds. Go follow Spencer FPL Beery on Twitter. Go follow FPL Stark as well, and subscribe to Cayman on YouTube. He is pushing for 2k subs. Let's try to get him there before the end of the year. That would be absolutely amazing. And as always, guys, if you want more from us, go check out our Patreon Discord, Peer Pressure Plus, where you'll get my weekly captaincy analysis with all of the extra details, extra analysis, extra graphics. You get custom team advice from me, Kayman, and Stark week to week. We're running Discord calls. It's just a great community to be in, and some of our members are doing fantastic this season, so do check that out if you're interested. It's the first link in the video description. We're going to start with, of course, Sunderland, who are actually 4th in the league table, which, if I said that to you before game week 1, is actually kind of mad. You must be pleased with the start from your side, Spencer. I mean, I just want to talk about first probably Reggie Labrie, who I believe him and Patrick Vieira are the only 2 active French managers in the top 5 leagues at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job, and this is only he's only been there, is it 2 years now, or just under 2 years?
Yeah, this is his second season. So yeah, he joined last July. And I think it's, again, last season in the Championship, I don't know how much you guys followed that league, but we weren't really expected to be anywhere near the top 6, let alone being in that battle for the top 2 until the end. But he's just done wonders with his squad. We had players like Joe Bellingham that he's now gone to Borussia Dortmund, and a few players that kind of have been moved out now. We've been promoted to the Premier League, but just it's kind of dreamland at the minute. I wouldn't have expected us to start like we have either. I know a lot of the matrices that had us kind of with an easy set of fixtures to start, and I think especially myself, I kind of tempered a lot of people's thoughts that we might do well, because it's easy to look at green fixtures and think it'll be easy, but we've seen how many teams now get promoted and then just be bottom of the barrel, like just crap. I wasn't confident. I was hoping that we just finished 17th, and to be fair, I'd still take that now. But yeah, it's just been a great start to the season. We're doing really well.
Yeah. In terms of, you definitely, I think, have had the best fixtures out of all of the three newly promoted sides at the start, but you have maximized those points. You're sitting 7 points better than they are. Unbeaten at home, I believe, in the first 10. But over the next 10 games, Opta has you with the hardest fixtures in the league. What are your expectations kind of over December, January? Like, are you happy with a mid-table spot? Are you expecting to kind of slide down into 10th, 11th, 12th, 14th maybe? Or what's your ambitions and your goals, do you think?
I think we're going to drop down. Without a doubt. I think. Well, we've got Arsenal on the weekend. We've still got to play. I think over the next 5, we've got Bournemouth, Liverpool, and Man City. So we're playing the top 5, not including Sunderland, over the next month or so. We've played against. If you look at those sort of like 7th, 8th, 9th, we've played those 3 and taken 4 points. So we've done well to take points there, but yeah, these sort of teams that are playing against like Arsenal, Man City, I'm not expecting anything from them. If we nick a point against 1 or 2 of those, then I'd be laughing really, because I think if you look at it compared to like West Ham, Forest, and Wolves at the minute, I don't see them, or even like Burnley and Leeds as well. I don't see them picking up points against those top 4, top 5 teams. So yeah, I think we just got to kind of hope we get lucky in certain games and maybe nick a point somewhere until after AFCON and see where we are there.
100%. And I definitely think, the likes of Leeds and Burnley, they're not going to be going to Stamford Bridge and getting 3 points. Stoke played them last week. What were your initial thoughts, seeing Sunderland right there at Stamford Bridge, watching it? Were you impressed? You thought it was just a lucky win?
No, I think they deserve to beat us, to be honest. I'd say it was a fair result. Of course, could we have won? Yes, but I think you can't say it wasn't a deserved victory. Like, definitely deserved. I didn't actually catch the game yesterday, so I don't know what the result should have been yesterday against Everton, but I know Benjy scored a wonder goal. But overall, in terms of their assets, Granit Xhaka, he's proven to be a great signing. Some say it's the signing of the season.
I will say, Spencer, Stock actually started the season with Granit Xhaka, but he didn't have the faith on his wildcard 3, and he dropped him, but he did identify that pick and scored. Obviously, max bonus. Is he actually at the top of the list for you? And obviously, Kayman will go to him after this. He has Mukiele, some of the defenders. Who's your top Sunderland pick, do you think, heading into this tougher run?
Yeah, I think Xhaka is undoubtedly that sort of top 3 Sunderland assets. We're going to struggle now, but especially going forward. But he's going to pick up DEFCON. I think that's what we're looking at now this season. It's just midfielders. What you're looking for at that 5 million, 4.9, 5.1 area. It's just someone that's going to get you 12 DEFCONs a week and might pop up with an assist or a goal. He's the talisman of the team, so he's going to be involved in, I'd say, the majority of the goals. And then just touching on Mukiele there, obviously we've got Mukiele. We're playing a 5 at the back at the minute. We kind of changed from a 4, started that against Man United, and then changed like halfway through the game into a back 5. And ever since then, that's kind of worked. So we've been playing that against most teams now. It's probably a mistake. I know you mentioned last night. The first 20 minutes we were awful. We were lucky to not be 3-0 down. But there was just something clicked in the 30th minute, and then we just controlled the game. So you could look at it on both sides, saying maybe we should have lost. We could have been 3-0 down at half time, but probably Everton were happy they came away with a point in the end, with the pressure we had the last 20 minutes or so. But I think that's just one of those games where I think you look back at the end of the season and go, yeah, we'll probably take a point there against Everton away, just at home against them. So yeah.
Who's on
but
pen?
I think
who's the pen
who's
taker?
on pen? Yeah.
Is it Lefay?
Yeah, so it is Lefay. I've currently got him in my team. I've had him since Gameweek 1, and it was kind of a blind hope that he would be on penalties.
He's already taken one, no?
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? So Habib Diarra, before he got injured, we had another penalty and we didn't know who the penalty taker would be. And then I think it was Habib Diarra said that he gave the penalty to Enzo just because Enzo said that he knew he was gonna score or something like that. So he just gave it to him. And now obviously Diarra's injured and he's got African Cup of Nations coming up in December, so he's not going to be around for a while. So I just assume that Lefay's going to keep them. He got a bit of a dodgy assist last night, obviously with the Xhaka goal, but his DEFCON potential is reasonably okay for 4.9 million at playing left wing, and he's on corners and a few set pieces as well. So he's in my team for that reason. But I would say if you're going to just pick him one set and forget, just go Xhaka, just for safety.
Yeah, Kayman, obviously, you own Mukiele. First, I think it's 2 weeks now. Have you watched a little bit of Sunderland over that period? What's your thoughts on him? I watched the full 90 last night. I thought he had a good headed chance inside the 6-yard box, around the 6-yard box. He put in a good cross for Isidore as well. He looked very advanced. I thought he looked quite impressive. What did you think?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing him for the next 2 months in my team, except for bench boost, which I'll do in game week 12.
Yeah, if we look at the fixtures, I mean, for Sunderland, Arsenal home, Fulham away, Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, City away, Newcastle at home, Brighton away, Leeds at home, probably game week 18, the next fixture for Sunderland, I'd say. But I think if you can tick along a few points at home, I think you'll still be okay in this patch. And I think what Spencer was saying about, you will start to slide down the table with these fixtures. But if you just continue to notch up the points, if you hit 36, and that's what the data analysts say these days is enough, I think you'll be okay. Right, Spencer?
Yeah, I think so. And I think if you go back to that slide with the fixtures there's obviously you've got Arsenal this weekend, then Fulham and Bournemouth after international break. And there's no reason why we can't go to Fulham and take 3 points there the way we're playing at the minute. Bournemouth will obviously be a lot tougher, but we're at home, so that could play into it. I think obviously Liverpool and Man City in the same week isn't great, especially both of being away. And then we go into the derby as well against Newcastle at home, so we'll be up for that. And hopefully we can carry on our record in the Premier League of slapping them up. But I don't know. I think it's always a bit of a one you can't really predict.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit easier from then, I'd say, after them. Like you've got Man City and Tottenham around New Year's Eve, but
I think
New Year's
it's
Day.
nice
But
that first one is at home as well.
Question before you move on, Benjy, just
Go
to
ahead.
go back on the
Yeah.
previous slide, a quick one. What's your thoughts on people saying that you will lose half your squad to AFCON and that you will definitely regress come game week 16 onwards?
I think from like the outside looking in, I think it's easy to say that. But if you watch or like look at just the team that played last night, I think it's only Siddiqui, Reynaldo, and Bertrand Traore that would be going to AFCON. There's 3 players. I know Siddiqui's key in the middle, and obviously we'd lose Habib Diarra, but he's not been playing. So obviously with his injury, and it doubts him whether he'd actually go to AFCON if he's that severely injured until he's going to be back for the Newcastle game. So what's that? That is the week, isn't it? Or the week after is
16,
AFCON.
week before, basically, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bit interesting saying that he'd be back for the Newcastle game last night after the match. But I think like those sort of games that we're going to miss anyway. The one that is a killer really is that Leeds at home, because that is really we've got to take 3 points there if we want to do well this season. That like Brighton away is always tough. Brighton at home are solid, so I won't be expecting much there. But Leeds at home, that's a bit of a killer, really, having it at that point.
3 players from your starting 11, that's quite a lot. And Siddiqui, I think him and Xhaka are top 2 for distance covered in the Prem so far. That is significant.
Yeah, Siddiqui is a big miss and will be a big miss, but we've got players in the squad that were in the Championship last season with us. It is a bit of a drop off compared to Siddiqui, but for a few games they'll be able to cover. And I think we've picked up enough points as it is now that we can kind of take a bit of a free hit when it comes into AFCON. I don't think it shouldn't be the end of the world. We've also got, like, if you look at the defence, really, other than Reynildo and funny enough, the backup is being Masuaku, he'll be off to AFCON as well, which is, you could say, is a good thing because he's awful. But we just there's parts that can move around. So Hertroida, who played left centre back last night, can play in sort of that right centre midfield position.
Okay, nice.
We could move bits around, so it doesn't look too bad. It's just that left side that could look a bit weak.
And what I would say is the thing that I've been really impressed with is how quick Reggie Labrie and his coaching staff has adapted to set pieces. 3 set piece goals. I think you've defended them really well. You've utilized long balls. You're playing within the current Premier League meta very, very strongly. Is that something that's carried on from, last season in the Championship? Is that something new this season? And who's the key picks that we need to look at?
I think it's quite new. We weren't really known for our sort of set piece threat last season. I think obviously you would have seen the last few weeks that obviously Mukiele's doing these long throws into the box, and every time it's aiming for Dan Ballard. And when he's on the pitch, he's probably our most threatening player in attack, just purely from those set pieces. He's a big man mountain. He just throws himself at all the balls coming into the box and just tries to get his head on it and try and win a flick on. So it's funny, really. I think he's probably quite high up there with XG for a centre back across the league. But this is a new thing, and obviously we've brought in set piece coaches over the summer, and they've done their work, and they've got the squad working in a way that it's kind of we've kind of reaped the rewards early days with a few set piece goals already.
Yeah. I think Mukiele was a great buy with that in terms, and sitting top 6 for set piece XG. I mean, very impressive considering, you've got Burnley 14th, Leeds 16th. I mean, and they're so important this season. It's very impressive, I have to say. We will come back on to Sunderland closer to the captaincy section, but let's move on to the forwards. A little bit more of an FPL chat at the moment. Talk to me, Stock. Victor Gyokeres. Guys, we have had confirmation he will be out until the next international break, so he is injured, and that does make him obviously a sell for Sunderland. Is there an obvious pick in your mind? You think, hey, if I don't own this guy, I'll go to him. Who's your top 2, top 3?
I'd say if you've used your bench boost, I'd highly recommend dropping him to a Mark Q or a Kroopy. If you've not, or if you just don't want to do that, or say you already have, so let's say you've already got a Mark Q or a Kroopy, I would probably suggest Mateta and Haaland is probably the most data-driven, probably the most best front 2 if you've got the funds. Data's excellent for both on pens, minutes very solid with Nketiah out. But other than that, I think Welbeck and Thiago is a close one. I think Welbeck's run is excellent from 15, more so. But then so is Thiago's. Welbeck's data is, I think, quite good, but it's his minutes. Is he going to be a 90-minute man? Hurtzler's a bit of a fraud manager when it comes to random benchings and holding key information.
Yeah, there's certainly good Brighton fixtures on the way. Brentford, Forest. I think the runs probably starts in 12. It's not the best exit this week, but I definitely agree with you. He's someone certainly to consider at the price. Kayman, what about you? If you have to move out Gyokeres, who would you look at? Because Spencer has him. We need to give him some good advice now. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to go back to JP, so I'd say Thiago is my favorite option. And then he's also cheapest one available, right? With better fixtures and penalties.
Yeah.
And you don't want to invest too much money on forwards, and that's something that we've learned. I think Welbeck is 6.5, if I'm not mistaken, right?
6.5, correct. Thiago's actually cheaper.
So Thiago is actually cheaper. And I do like the Newcastle fixture for Thiago because, I mean, they are playing at home at the GTEC Arena. They can score versus anyone, respectfully. We saw what they done to United. We saw what they done to Liverpool. We saw what they done to, even City. They should have scored versus City as well. They had chances.
The one thing I would say is that in terms of Brentford, I think they are a little bit reliant on set pieces. Whereas if you see Brighton, they're actually sitting top 4 for open play XG, 11 open play goals so far. I think that puts them are in and around 6th, 7th total, whereas Brentford are much lower down in terms of open play. But Thiago's still on 6 goals. He's got the pens. I think his minutes are longer term, more nailed than a Danny Welbeck, which is a good thing. And I do like that about Thiago. He seems talismanic. There's also good
Does he go
fixtures as
AFCON?
well.
Sorry, does he go AFCON?
No, he's
I forgot
Brazilian.
to ask.
He doesn't go.
Okay, just thank God. Okay, cool.
Thank God.
'Cause-
Spencer, who are you
yeah.
leaning to at the moment?
So I've got Haaland, obviously got Gyokeres as well, but I've got Voltemada. So I need to get Mateta in really. Just purely from like watching how many chances he's getting. I think I've already got Thar and Gahey as well. So I don't mind the triple up on Crystal Palace. Obviously, Europa League's a bit of an annoyance on a Thursday, but I might just follow the crowd on this one and then wait and see. I've still got 3 hit left, so I'm not too worried about owning Thiago. I know he's got a nice fixture in 13. And then I'm just looking through those names now, but I'm not moved by Watkins really this season, or Ekatike is there, but I don't know. His minutes are a bit dodgy, aren't they? Especially with Isaac and everything going on there. So yeah, I think also raised a good point as well. Just dropping it down to a cheapie. Use minutes. Are they any? Has he got any, or is it just he's just one of them? Just leave him on the bench.
With Delap back, I'd say he's got close to no minutes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Delap's definitely first choice over him. Then you've got JP, who can also play there. But if you're going to dead spot a player, you might as well pick the ultimate dead spot, right? Some Gu's 4.2 million, and it's a 0.4 million saving on Krupi. That's the difference between Calafiori to Timber, or it's a big from Kanate to Van Dijk. Those extra funds, it could make a big difference later down the line. I've personally gone for Gu, just to ultimate dead spot it, because I think in terms of the meta, obviously it's a separate conversation and topic, but I'm leaning more towards 4-4-2/3-5-2. I think there's more value in midfield and defense. I think there's good options in defense to come on. I don't feel like there's much value in the striker position to have 3 strikers. So I wanted to be in the structure for a long time.
Yeah, and I think obviously with DEFCON coming into it now, you're going to need 12 DEFCON contributions from a midfielder, and they're hitting potentially 5 points just on that, with a clean sheet as well. So you need your strikers to score every week basically just to keep up.
Yeah,
I think definitely something to look at. Like I said, the meta formation now.
I think it's a good segue into our midfielder meta list, and we obviously, guys, the little soccer balls represent guys on pens. The guys with a little sneaker icon means that they have significant set piece share for those teams. And yes, guys, Minte actually has set piece share. He's been taking corners. He took a free kick against Leeds, I believe. So I do believe that you need some sort of set piece / pens on top of that. And the popping market this week is going to be that sub 7 million, the 6.5, 6.6, 6.7 guys. Even Rice now at 6.8. Kayman, if you had to pick just one to buy this week below 7 million, who would it be?
So many options, isn't there? I mean, Mint is so good. NDI is amazing. My favorite one is probably Soboslai, man. Like, you get a Liverpool attacker, you jump on them early. He's been their best player this season. The only issue with that is that obviously Slot is experimenting a lot right now with various positions, and he's, to be honest, playing anywhere he wants. Slot wants him to play. So I would be concerned about his position, whether if he does play at right back some of the games. But if he doesn't play right back and he plays in the midfield, I do like him a lot more with the fixtures that are coming up from a long-term move standpoint. Rice is, of course, probably the best one, but the fixtures, you slightly missed him already. You might have missed on his hole. You might be a bit late to the party there. Caicedo, I think he's going to the bracket of where you slightly also missed the boat. If you have him, it's calm. But if you don't have him, I think Minter is a better value, because Minter also has DEFCON, as you said, set piece, as well as open play threat, and is far much more advanced. And fixtures are also coming up are good. But if someone were to pick Caicedo, their fixtures are still good as well, so I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
but my personal preference is Minte over Caicedo, but it's still a buy. So I'd go Sobo, and I would go, if you don't have Saka, Rice, and I would go, or triple Arsenal, then I would go probably Minte.
Sounds good.
My-
And just a little bit of
yeah.
the stats. If you're looking for the DEFCON guy, his name is Caicedo. Sosbo is also averaging over 12 DEFCONs per 90 this season. The thing with Sosbo that I'm a little bit concerned with, you can see the goal involvement percentage on the very right-hand side. That's the percentage of goals and assists that they have towards the team in the Prem. Sosbo is the lowest on this list with 11%. So in terms of the access you have into Liverpool's goal share, it's not that high. Whereas you compare that, let's just say you compare it to Iliman and Jai, he's averaging 50%, right? So if you see that Everton notification, it's going to be Iliman and Jai, but obviously he goes AFCON. There's upsides and downsides with each pick. For me, personally, Minte's by far my favorite because Gambia have not qualified for AFCON. He's not going to AFCON. His minutes have been fantastic this season. I'm pretty sure he started 10 out of 10. He's got 6 returns. Only 3 bonus, which is a little bit of a downside, it's actually Declan Rice who has the most bonus on this list so far. Stark, how about you, bro? What are you thinking in that price category? Because I think a lot of people are looking for this kind of mid.
So Boslai's in for Reinders, and now to pick a second one, because I think me personally, I'm going to be on Bruno, Saka, and Semenyo. So I've got 2 spots left. I'm going to be playing 5 midfielders most weeks. So Szoboszlai's in for the run. The potential of his attacking output, I think, I know it says 11%, but when I watch him play, he's just got the energy in the latter stages of the game to sprint forwards, and he's just so nailed that when the game opens up, he's just always the one bombing forwards. And with that, like I said, with that floor of DEFCON in any game, if he ever does get a GA, he's got that double-digit ceiling. So that's why I like him with the fixtures.
And I think we also need to put respect on his name. This is a guy who returned 16 GA last season, and I think it was 29 starts. He's not a 10 GA, 5, 6, 7, 8 GA guy. He hit 15 plus last year. Spencer, are you interested in Sosbo? Is it a SAR for you? Do you think Enzo maybe is looking at? I know you're a little hot in Chelsea. What you thinking?
I've currently got Sar, Enzo.
Oh my goodness.
Semenyo, Bruno. I think that Szoboszlai makes so much sense, especially like we were mentioning earlier about pricing. I mean, even if you doubled his price, he's still less than Salah, who arguably hasn't been great this season. The DEFCONs is such a safety net as well. I think I would be looking at Szoboszlai, and Jai is a bit of a sort of, I don't really know how to describe him. I think he's just the ultimate talisman. If Everton are going to do anything, it's him. I know Grealish started the season well, but he's tailed off a bit now, and he's a bit of a one-trick pony when it comes to sort of trying to beat his man or put a cross in. I think he's kind of been found out a bit, whereas Njai just, like last night, just creates something from nothing. So I'd still say he's a decent pickup. And so yeah, but I think if you're looking at 6.5, I'd just be going for those sort of like nailed 90-minute men, Caicedo or Szoboszlai. Yeah, I kind of regret going Enzo now because I'm not sure that extra 7.7 is worth it really. When he's not picking up DEFCON, and if the goals dry up or assists dry up, then it's not looking great.
Well, what's your actually very good point? Look, this is a very good point you just mentioned, right? What's your thoughts on this new meta of FPL where DEFCON has changed? Benjy, stop. What's going on? I'm not gonna make it long. I'm gonna simply summarize it for you, right? What's your thoughts on this new meta in FPL that essentially overpowers these assets, the likes of Caicedo's, Grabs, and Szoboszlai's, and it reduces the value of someone like, say, for example, a Foden or a Gakpo or a Grealish, like all these wingers, right? Instead, you're going for maybe a Caicedo instead of a Neto, or traditionally you go for a winger or a striker if you want to looking for a midfielder, right? I don't know why this season, for some reason, these 5.5 million assets are just outscoring them. And if you look at the top 10 midfielders, it's Caicedo, Grabs, Szoboszlai, like Price. It's not normal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has kind of changed the game for the worse. We're now kind of sat there counting our tackles and blocks and clearances now with our defenders and midfielders, which just seems a bit odd. Obviously, the first thing that people thought was, obviously, when they announced it, was Bruno is going to be just one of those that you have to own, and if you didn't own him, then you're going to finish like bottom. But I think it's gone even further than that, and we're looking at players that aren't even really known for their goal scoring. I mean, Caicedo, how many goals is he actually going to score a season? He's hit 3 already. I mean, he's not going to hit 10, is
Yeah,
he? But
even Grab
it's
as
just,
well. But
yeah, it's
do you
just,
get my point? Like, there's a trend.
yeah.
Like, I think there's more than DEFCON here. Personally, I think there's more than DEFCON. I think there's a change in. But am I lagging? I'm not sure.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, apologies. So I think there's a change in the way the way teams are playing in the league. I'm not saying every single team, but I'll say the big teams like the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and your City and your Chelsea of the world. Like, I feel like their DMs are being told to make those box crashing runs or make those runs and be. I feel like they're being now looked much more because they're the ones that get ignored the most, right? Because when the corners are taken, when the set pieces are taken, or when the open play, even when the balls have been transitioned, the defender's main priority when they're doing man-to-man mark is they're marking the wingers, they're marking the strikers, they're marking the attacking midfielders. The person that gets ignored the most are the DMs. For example, your Casemiros, your Caicedos, and that ball comes into the feet, they have so much space to shoot, like how Caicedo had space, how Grav has space. So I think there has to be some sort of systematic change within the Premier League on the way the teams are playing and setting up, where it enables the likes of Grav and Caicedo to make those runs and shoot. Because I've seen an interview actually where Slot apparently Grav said that, "Oh, Slot has instructed me to do that now. He's giving me freedom to go forward and make those be more attacking." So I'm thinking, is this something similar happening with other teams as well, where their DMs are being told similar type of information? But I don't know what you guys think about that.
I don't know.
I think it's. Go on, Benjy.
Go. No, you go.
I was going to say, I think you're bang on, Kayman. I think there is that sort of the style of defending has kind of pushed this sort of defensive midfielders into just shooting from the edge of the area. But if you look at it from the other side, I think if you're going to give someone the chance to shoot, it would be the players that are not known for scoring, because the likelihood is they aren't going to hit the back of the net. I think it's just been, I would say, a bit fortunate point scoring for those sort of defensive midfielders from the goals and assists. But
I would agree with you if it was one of them. I would agree if it was 2 of them. But there is 3, 4, 5, 6. I can show you 7 examples where this happened,
listen.
and we're in Gameweek 10.
For me, this is how I look at it. I do not believe that Casemiro, Gravenberch, all of those guys, only one DM for me is realistic possibility, and that's Caicedo, because we knew before the start of the season his DEFCON would be the highest in midfield by far. We already knew that. Now the fact that Palmer got injured means that Chelsea's goal involvements are more spread, right? There's going to be other players who are going to have to pick up the slack. Caicedo's been one of them. He's had a fantastic start to the season, and he's picking up goals from 3. He's got 4 returns. And he's averaging 0.13 non-pen XGI per 90, which is lower than Munoz. It's lower than Timber. So I believe, yes, Caicedo is a pick, but unless you're going to bring in a Gravenberch, a Casemiro, any of these other guys, you don't really have the faith that it's a full change. Because even if I look at the points, bro, it's 2-3 weeks of SAKA doing 8 points average, and he'll be into the top 5. You know what I mean? Like, the points will change quick, is what I'm trying to say. Only Caicedo do I see. And bro, Caicedo, I think he has 1 yellow this year. He has 1 yellow card. Bro, people told me at the start of the season he's going to be picking up like 8-9 yellows across the season. So I don't know why he hasn't been booked. Maybe stock and... I don't know.
I'm not here to say, oh, go buy these assets. I'm just saying there is a clear trend that you might be ignoring, even myself. And I'm ignoring it because I'm stubborn and I'm stuck in my own ways in terms of how I play the game. And I don't find it fun. It's already annoying as it is that I have to pick 4 centre backs. It's even how insane would that be if I have now 4 DMs in my midfield? My goodness, I might as well do the game at this point, right? So I'm just saying there's a trend, and for you to dismiss that trend and ignore it long enough, I think that's just being ignorant. Because you have to look at these assets like Rice and Soboslais and your Caicedos and start treating them for what they are. They are giving you points at the end of the day, and you have to be.
Yeah.
And whenever you're making a transfer, they have to be in your consideration. Personally, I consider them, that it's just that it's not my type of pick. But if I was to advise someone, I would tell them, yes, buy Rice, yes, buy Enzo or buy Soboslai, buy. I would advise them to buy DMs. But in prior season, I wouldn't. I would have said no, don't do it. But in this season, if I was to give someone tips, if for the listeners, I'd say yes, you can buy these players because they're giving you points. They're not a terrible buy at all.
No, that's true. And I do, but for me, I am a little bit skeptical, but the one change I do believe in is the center back change. Like, I think most of the defenders we own now are center backs, and that is the clear change with Defcon, the set pieces, and the other routes of points. Like, I do agree, Kayman. Let's see if it continues over December, January period. Maybe we'll have a conversation then. But I feel like I've already adapted my midfielders enough with, you know, the likes of Paqueta, Bruno, Semenyo, Benjy. I have Defcon guys. I have adapted to that style. I just prefer going for the highest Defcon with also the goal threat alongside that. That's my preference. I think Caicedo is the only DM that I would genuinely consider in my team, and even then, he's just not my kind of pick. Coming to stock,
He's gonna be pricey now. He's gonna be pricey
yeah,
now.
it's a
so
bit
yeah,
pricey.
that's it.
The guys who got 5.5,
Yeah.
I think you got a good deal there. But
If you go back
6.0
to
is no
midfield,
chance.
If you go back to midfield,
Yeah, sorry, go
and
ahead.
just to finalize what you were saying, it is the combination of everything. Because if Caicedo was just getting Defcon every week, he wouldn't be as high up as he is. It's because he's getting the goals and the assists as well, which gives him the double digit, which gives him all the bonus. Like, if it's just Defcon, yeah, he'll for value for money, he's amazing. But if you can combine all three routes to points, then that's when you've got, for example, an Benjy, a Bruno. These guys, like, let's be honest, if Benjy wasn't going to AFCON, everyone would own him. I think it's a bit of a marvel that he's not risen in price. I don't know how he's still 6.5 mil. It's a bit crazy, don't you think? Considering what he is in this game.
Well, the thing is, he's only, you know, he's got 5 returns. He only collected 3 bonus this year. Rice has 10. It's a joke, man.
Rice is context again. Rice, his Defcon numbers are quite low, but obviously, once again, in any given game, who expected Rice to get Defcon in Burnley? I certainly didn't, but he did. So, can you really predict Defcon in a fixture? I don't think we can. I just think you take it when you get it, and if you can combine it with a GA, which he always has the potential to do because he arrives late, his technical ability is great on the edge of the box, and he takes their set pieces.
Yeah,
and
we can hear
Arsenal's
you.
set pieces are like pieces are like penalties.
Yeah.
You
I
can
think
hear me,
Rice got another assist. Rice got another assist tonight, by the way, to Marino. Marino scored a brace.
Yeah, I have Rice in my Champions League fantasy team. This is what I'm saying, Benji. You cannot dismiss these assets, bro.
But, okay.
It's infuriates me.
I'm
Me because I don't have these assets
disregarding
in my
it.
team.
I'm not disregarding them.
It infuriates me,
I'm
bro.
disregarding Gravenberch, Casemiro. Bro, I'm not disregarding Caicedo and Rice. Those
You
are
have to
completely
disregard
different
Casemiro
situations.
because he doesn't get 90 minutes. Casemiro is not an option. I'm talking about a Grav, a Soboslai, a Rice, a Enzo, and a freaking Caicedo.
Sosbo and Enzo aren't DMs though. Those guys are 8s.
Okay, but they're pivot players, bro. Like, historically speaking, we wouldn't pick this type of assets. Let's be honest now. We wouldn't.
I mean,
Spook
yeah.
the Frank Lampard, eh?
You know, that's funny because I saw Andy Martin with Enzo in his team last year, and I saw Sosbo in Gameweek 34 in your team. So you're saying we wouldn't pick them in previous season, but you had him last. You know, you had him last year for a 12-pointer, bro.
I had for 2 weeks. Bro. 3 weeks, and that's the only reason why I had him is because I didn't have anywhere else to go, bro.
Yeah.
It was literally I had to pick him because I had no other option.
Anyways,
it wasn't a 6.
we spent more than enough time here. Let's quickly go defenders because we still have premium structures to cover, and that's gonna be a big section. Spencer, talk to me about defenders that you're looking at right now. On this list, I'll tell you the guy I'm interested in, Spence. I am looking at Ibrahim Konate, who has a 50% Defcon hit rate so far, and with no backup, I do think his minutes should be pretty solid across, you know, December, January. I am interested in him. Maybe Munoz. How about you? Are you looking at another Arsenal defender? I think you only have one, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So I've got Gabriel and Raya.
You got Gabriel and Raya.
So,
cool.
Yeah, obviously that's an option. If I will be selling Gyokeres now, is whether going for another defender. looks like they're going to get another clean sheet tonight, right? So they're on to break their own record on Saturday. They try and keep a clean sheet up at the Stadium of Light, but I mean, if you're looking for a defender, then obviously Arsenal is the obvious. If you can get another one in, Cal as well from Newcastle. I know there was a bit of talk about him last week. He seems like he's kind of settled in now. I know Newcastle didn't look great defensively, but I still think that's an okay option for 4.9. Because at the end of the day, what's the difference between paying 5.5 for Tarkovsky, who didn't hit DEFCON? Well, it didn't look like hitting DEFCON. If he, I don't know if he did in the end, but
No, he didn't.
Michael Keane was right up there. It's like you're paying an extra 0.9 million for a centre back that's doing the same thing as the other one. So for me personally, I think you just got to go value centre backs and then make sure you got at least 2 Arsenal in there. Yeah. I think the days of owning like Munoz, players like that, I think it's gone now. There's too much upside with the DEFCONs, really.
Stark, what do you think about that?
I think, guys, I think it's an interesting one because just value for money, right? Like look at Anderson and Richards, for example. The matter they do hit DEFCON, and obviously with the clean sheet potential and the fact that both teams, Fulham and Palace, they rarely get walloped. So the floor of 4 points, 3 points is always there. So, and then obviously your Sunderland guys, Rodon, so much value for money. And then this begs the question, with so much value for money from cheap assets, why don't we have Salah and Haaland in our drafts? Because Salah's so much money, but if there's so many enablers, what's the real excuse for us not having Salah?
And that's the perfect segue into premium structures, I think. And I think the main question for everybody is what is the captaincy pathway that you actually get? What is the upside with Salah, going for Salah, before he leaves for AFCON? And for me, I just don't see enough upside considering okay, most people with Haaland and Salah have Haaland, Salah, and Semenyo, or Haaland, Salah, and Mateta. Maybe they have Mateta and Semenyo because maybe Mateta and Semenyo can help you out for captaincy 1 or 2 weeks. But even then, are you going to be captaining Semenyo and Mateta when you have the 214 guys? No chance. No chance. You need to be maximizing the 14 mil value, right? So the way I look at it is you have a decent pathway with Haaland and Salah. So you would be cap Salah in 12, Haaland or Salah in 13. You can choose your pick. 14, Salah. 15, once again, it's a very close one, Salah or Haaland. And then 16, you get Brighton for Salah when Haaland has a tougher fixture in 16. And then Salah goes to AFCON, right? So that's one pathway. Now, the other pathway is the popular Haaland, Bruno, SAKA, Semenyo structure, where you have multiple options in the weeks where Haaland has tougher fixtures. Like if you look in 12, Saka's got Tottenham at home, you got Bruno, Everton at home, you got Semenyo, West Ham at home. If you look at 14, Haaland's next tough away fixture, Brentford at home for Saka. Fernandes has West Ham at home, and you got Semenyo with Everton at home. Palace away in 16 for Haaland. You got Wolves for Saka, which I think is probably the standout. You could go Bournemouth at home. They seem like they are leaking a few goals. And then even if in 18, if you don't want to go for Haaland, you can also go for Saka. Again, I'm pretty sure Palmer's fixture is okay in that week as well. 18, Villa at home, it's okay. Maybe you go Palmer in that week. But don't you think, Kayman, that the path with Haaland, Bruno, Saka is just stronger? I think you're muted, bro.
Sorry, yes, it is stronger. We just looked at it last night, actually. Me, myself, Benjy, and I, it is stronger. And basically, you have to ask yourself, with Salah, if you're not going to captain him in those weeks, and if Haaland is continuing to bang in goals, you probably won't because you'll be scared. Then, even if Salah were to get a double-digit haul, say a 12-pointer or a 14-pointer, a combination of a Bruno, Saka, and a third striker or a 4th or 5th defender will outscore a Salah, a Guy, and a 6 million midfielder. They will outscore them for sure with this fixture run. So why do that when I can see it if someone doesn't have a bench boost? I'll be honest. I was looking at myself, but I had to sacrifice a bench boost. and I wasn't going to do that. So it's possible. Like as Stark said, it's possible to have Salah. It's not impossible, but you have to sacrifice a Bruno or Mbumo, which I wasn't willing to do personally.
Stock. Is he frozen?
Sorry, I was on mute. I was going to say I want to hear what Spencer thinks,
Oh,
and then I'll come
Go
in.
ahead.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be owning Salah. I mean, bit of a lucky goal on the weekend, but I don't know why now we want to clamber to move ourselves to that bottom one where you've got Haaland, Salah, and Semenyo. It just seems a bit lumping into one basket after, especially like what we've just spoke about there with Szoboszlai and like even someone like Gakpo, who's like again half the price of Salah. He's going to have similar minutes, and if you have someone like if you look at that top one, for example, Saka is obviously 10 million around there. Palmer, when are we expecting him back? Is that a few months away, or is that because that's another thing as well? That sort of area, you want to have someone at that price point.
Stock.
If Saka, if Saka and Palmer and Bruno start going off, and you've got Salah, then you're looking at how do you get around that? How do you get back to a different template? I think it's easier to kind of not spread your funds, but
And
I'd rather
the
take
crazy
a
thing,
punt
Spencer,
on
is that
someone else.
top path I didn't even include Mateta.
Yeah,
They want to.
I know
add
you've
him
got
in,
Gordon
and
now. I don't think.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Gordon's a great pick, but
Yeah,
well, not at the minute anyway. But there's players at that price range that they're going to pop up, and
100%.
I mean, you could end up owning, say for example, you just go Saka, Fernandes, Semenyo, and then two 5 millions. You could probably afford to have Salah as well, but like, I don't think you really need him. You're not going to. I wouldn't captain him again in game week 12. I wouldn't captain him in. I may captain him in game week 14. That would be the only one. But I wouldn't captain in game week 16 either. So, yeah, I don't know when. I think that would be like if I was going to free hit. I've got my free hit left. I'd maybe look at 14, bring in Salah for Sunderland. Because that's the only week I'd be.
That can't feel right. That can't feel right for you, Spencer, can it? Using a chip to captain against your own team, or do you kind of just put aside all the bias?
I think it's a midweek one, isn't it? So if there's any week that Haaland was going to get rested or get less minutes, it would be then. And they may just use Salah like a bar of soap and just kind of smash him up into AFCON and then send him on his way to go to international duty.
If it was like a Leeds though, if it was a Leeds in 14, then I'd be. But Fulham away, I mean, there's no way they're gonna bench Haaland. Right?
It's so far away though as well.
Yeah.
Like Sunderland could lose 5-0 on the weekend, get battered the next few games, and then go to Anfield with no confidence at all. Could be a completely different situation. So it's difficult to say at the minute. Obviously, we've still got must be like a month and a half until that game. So, well, probably just over a month. So, yeah. But I think I'd just be looking at that sort of the top lines you got there. I wouldn't be rushing to bring Salah in. I haven't seen much from him really. That makes me think, he's worth 14 or whatever he is.
Yeah, I just think it's worth thinking about now because unless you have a wild card in your pocket, it's going to be very hard for you to transition to a Haaland plus Salah draft in 12-13. And I just look at it like, okay, Salah's got Forest at home, but you're not going to have Saka and one of Bruno, Semenyo, or Mateta in 12 when the fixture is fantastic. Like those two players combined versus Salah, Forest at home, I think there's very little chance Salah outscores both of those players. And it's the same for most of those weeks. Like, that's my only issue. And I think Stock, you agree, right?
Yeah, I just think like the one thing you lose by going with the top option is the best Liverpool captain when they have great fixtures. But as long as you're happy to captain a Bruno against West Ham in 14 or a Saka against Brentford, which I am, same in 16, they're both captaincy options. Again, you're happy to not have that captaincy from Salah, then I think the top one is more optimal because you gain picks like Bruno. I'm not willing to really sacrifice Bruno, and he has good fixtures with all the routes to points he has in this meta, which makes him a great asset. And funny enough, Bruno is actually closer to a price drop than he is a price rise, and he's already 8.9 million, which I think is quite funny. So I hope people keep selling him so I can get him at 8.8 million.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we're already at 50 minutes, so we're going to try to speed things up a little bit. We got captaincy next, my favorite section. 4 options on your screen. I'm sorry, guys, if you own Salah, there's no way you can be considering captaining away to Man City. Sorry, guys. It's just, I don't understand it. Like, if your gut's there, always follow your gut. But for me, he's not in my shortlist for 4 this week. I still think SAKA, despite the blank. Sorry, Spencer, but you knew he was going to be a conversation this week, obviously. We will talk about that right-hand side matchup with Ronaldo. Never played against Sunderland, so no historical record there. Haaland is 1 from 1 at home to at home at the Etihad against Liverpool. So he has 3 blanks at Anfield, but he's technically 100% at the Etihad against Virgil van Dijk. And I do think with 4 night spacing, no travel in the last 14 days, his rest profile looks really, really good this week. Bruno's is also okay. I think Bruno has 2 assists in his last 2 away games, Forest and Liverpool as well. So you could consider that. Tottenham are not looking at the best defensively. But yeah, Spencer, talk to me about that right-hand side for SAKA. Is there a good matchup there? Are you a little bit concerned of that side? Because I watched Benjy in the first 25. He looked on it, and he was getting a few opportunities, drifting inside.
Yeah, I think it's difficult with someone like Njai because he's much better than Everton, really. So it's a good test going into this Saturday for Reynaldo. I mean, he defended really well against Chelsea, and I think if we hadn't have had him, then it could have been a different story with someone like Masuaku playing left wing back. But I think Reynaldo, one thing he has got is that determination. He doesn't really give up. He's sometimes a bit petulant and kind of just like falls over, just trying to a bit like he spent years at Atletico Madrid, so he's got that bit of Simeone coaching in him, just rolling around whenever he gets touched. But yeah, I think SAKA will get quite a bit of quite a few chances on the weekend. I can't see him struggling.
Is Reggie Labrie the kind of manager to like enact a double up on SAKA? Do you think he'll draw one of the midfielders inside, maybe a centre back, LCB? Or do you think
I think it'll be Siddiqui that comes across and helps.
Okay.
So it'll be Enzo Lefebvre's been playing left wing. Obviously he'll track back and help out, but obviously Timber is not obvious player that's going to be bombing forward and kind of causing problems. So that left hand side is going to have to play pretty well to stop them from doing anything on Saturday.
Cool. Just running through a few stats in terms of defensive stats. Best fixture on paper, it's actually looking like it's Tottenham this week, who after that Chelsea game they've dropped into the bottom 5 for most of the defensive metrics. One thing I will mention on Liverpool, they're averaging the 8th highest line in the league. They've conceded the 12th most fast break opportunities. You know what Erling Haaland does. He loves fast breaks. And they've also conceded more big chances, non-penalty only, than all teams except for Burnley this season. And obviously Man City have had the most big chances this season as well. So it does look like a good game for Haaland. Let's see Van Dijk today. I think the game's starting soon. But yeah, Kayman, Stark. First with Kayman, what are you thinking? Haaland easy cap? SAKA again? What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. I don't think I'll be taking on Haaland anytime soon, personally.
Huh?
I've already taken him on and I lost 1 million rank, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Stock?
That's an interesting point, though. Can you not take him on ever again? Do you adopt that attitude, or do you analyze it and go, okay, maybe I took him on in the wrong week? Because I do think the next 2 game weeks are good weeks to potentially take him on, especially Newcastle.
I don't trust Saka personally to take him on Haaland with. I trust Salah, but the issue is getting Salah is a lot of compromise. I think the way I take on Haaland is with free hit. I have a free hit left, and the week I free hit, I'll take on Haaland. with captaincy.
Spencer, what do you
Which
think?
week you thinking?
16.
If you're not going Haaland, then I wouldn't put you off going Bruno. I mean, Tottenham away is a lovely fixture at the minute. How many games have they lost now at the new stadium? The home form is absolutely awful, and you can see it. It's the early kickoff. You can see it. If Man United start well, they could have an absolute field day there. But it's one of their most kind of.
Yeah.
I don't want to go against Haaland.
Yeah, like if
I don't
it
think
goes
anyone does at the
wrong
minute.
in the early kickoff and you got the whole weekend to watch. But what I would say is Bruno has a good record in the early kickoff. It's 3 returns in 6 starts away to Tottenham as well. And he's in good away form, as I mentioned too. He's got the best rest profile as well. So there are some positives for Bruno, but obviously Haaland at home, 4 consecutive braces. He's on the verge for another record. Luis Suarez, 5 consecutive home braces in the league. It looks like probably Erling Haaland this week. PFC, we're all on Haaland. Oh, go ahead, Stock, my bad.
I was going to say I've got a left of field captaincy shout who's definitely up there for me.
Sure.
If you do want to take Haaland on, and it's Enzo Fernandez against Wolves with the pen share.
Okay.
Just one that obviously I always like to captain penalty takers. He's got it. His XGI is actually quite good. I think it's up there with Bruno, the likes of Bruno.
Yeah.
So I just think Wolves are trash. They conceded 3 to Leeds, who have quite a poor attack. We beat them 4-3 with like a B team in the cup. They won't have Agbadu because he's suspended, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they'll have a manager. I know there's a new manager bounce theory. Could be, you could give weight to that if they have a Ten Hag, but didn't Ten Hag get sacked from Leverkusen after like 5 games? So, and Wolves are trash. So Enzo Fernandez, he's on my mind if I do want to take Haaland on, but other than that, Haaland, very simple.
Makes sense. For once, I've actually gained a few points on Kayman and PFC this week, and the guests have equaled Kayman in first place in terms of punt flop cap. Spencer's gone Gibbs White. I've also followed suit with Igor Jesus. I think Leeds are going to get pumped. Kudus, actually, there's 2 Kuduses. Both of them flop Kudus this week. I flopped Van de Ven. Kayman's gone Reinders, are all on Haaland captaincy. Let's move quickly into the teams. We'll start with Spencer's team, obviously. Pretty good start to the season. So, would you say, Spencer? Team looks great.
It's been okay. I mean, I haven't really had too many sort of big hauls. I didn't start off with Semenyo, so I missed out on those early points. I started with Senesi. I was one of the few that did, which is a bit of a masterstroke, really. I think he's turned out to be one of the better or the best DEFCON defenders. But yeah, I think this week, obviously, I sold João Pedro for Voltemada, and that's just typical FPL, really. And now with Gyokeres being injured, I'm now looking for another striker that can come in or either be third sub. The problem that I've got at the minute, and I know Stark, you mentioned about obviously Croupier or Q, is my bench is pretty bad this week. I wouldn't really want to play my Sunderland guys this week, and I'm not too keen on playing Keane. So I would probably look at going Triple Palace and get Mateta in. That would probably be my transfer this week, and just kind of keep up with the herd at the minute. My rank's okay at this point in time, but hopefully that can get a bit better over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. If you bring Mateta into Jock, you could always drop Walt to a Mark U.
Yeah.
And then, that's why I like it, because then you really, for me, like we looked at, there's a lot of value in the midfielder spots, and when you drop Voltemada to a Gu, Enzo Lefebvre could become anyone realistically. And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with Keane this week. He's DEFCON. He hit it in the first half.
Yeah.
Fulham, it's at home. You never know. So
yeah, it's not bad per se, but I don't know. It's just one of them. I think I'm still trying to get my head around these DEFCON things, and kind of allowing myself to play these centre backs, even though I know that they're not going to get clean sheets for guaranteed. I guess everyone's kind of learning at the minute, and I know we're 10 game weeks in, but it just still feels like just completely wrong.
Yeah, I think York to Mateta makes a lot of sense. Kayman's actually got Walter as well. Kayman, what do you think of his team?
I think he seems very good, man. I would sell Walter to Mateta or not maybe Gak because he's injured. So yeah, Gag to Mateta is fine, I think.
Yeah, it was probably Sunday. I think I was looking at obviously transfers. I had João Pedro. I was looking to sell, and I was thinking it would be my luck that I would bring in Mateta and then he'd get injured midweek in the League Cup.
Yeah.
And then obviously didn't get injured. I brought in Voltemada instead because I got priced out of Mateta. And then
Okay.
he gets subbed off after 45 minutes. So it's just typical, really. It just the variance is
Yeah.
crazy at the minute. But
I think you're still in a great spot. I love your defense. You got the double Arsenal. Your midfield's really strong. Like you have Enzo for the short term. You've got that spot where you can pivot off. You got Lafi to upgrade whenever you want. Like I think your team's in a good spot.
I think I think you're missing Liverpool attack, right? Liverpool attack you're missing. So maybe you go downgrade fully to that. And Gog to even thing is Ekitike is also nice if you want it. I don't know if you can afford him or not. But
yeah,
I think what you're missing is a Liverpool attacker. But
yeah, I
obviously
agree.
this week is not the entry point, of course. And we don't know if Sobosai is a pick. Or we think Sobosai is a pick, but if he starts playing right back, all of a sudden then he's not a pick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, then I'm just getting 5 points every week with the Defcons.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Boring. Absolutely boring. Ah, man. It's a very good team though. We'll move to Kayman's team. Kayman off the back of a few weeks of wildcard. Very unlucky this week with SAKA captaincy. Should have buried that 1-on-1 for sure. The good thing with SAKA is he is getting the chances. What you looking to do this week, Kay?
I'm looking to blow it up already after 2 weeks of wildcards. So we're not playing no patient game here. I'm sitting in 2 million. So yeah, I'm looking to be aggressive. I've got 2 free transfers. I'm looking to take out Watmad and Gakpo. Or I might do one of the moves. But yeah, currently I do think those are the 2 problems in my team. I know people will say keep the faith with Gakpo and fixtures, whatever. But I watched the guy 2 weeks closely, and I don't think he's that guy personally. And Liverpool fans don't even want him to start. So
He's not nailed. He's not nailed either, by the way, because as we've seen tonight, Verts has been shoehorned into the team. Obviously, he costs a lot of money. Gakpo was the one who's dropped out.
Yeah, exactly. So those are 2 problems. And Walter sub is just I've yet to see any sort of reasoning or justification other than I think I've heard someone say or I think he said is fatigue. But I'll call it bollocks personally, because when he's playing, he's not one of those strikers that basically presses as much as say for example, I don't know, Jackson used to. He's not a presser or a Darwin, you know. So it's like he's just chilling on the pitch. I don't see how you possibly could have been fatigued. But okay, so yeah, he's a problem. He's a problem.
Okay. I still think you have a lot of good picks. Like the double Chelsea. This is the week for them, I think. Yeah, looking good.
Let's see.
Keep the faith, Spence. It's a good team, Spence. Right? It's a good team.
Yeah, it's good. The one thing I would say, obviously, with Mukiele, his Defcon's dropped off a little bit, but I wouldn't worry as much with that. I think that'll creep back up again. I think, especially last night, and I think I had a couple of messages this morning about Mukiele, and people were worrying about his new position, and there isn't really much of a position change, to be fair. We just played against a team in Everton that, after 30 minutes, decided to park the bus a little bit, so we didn't have to do much defending. So I wouldn't worry about that.
He was good. He was good. It's just that I don't plan to play him. I have a quite deep squad.
No. I would. Yeah.
So,
but he's not a sell, though. Is what I mean.
No, I'm not selling him. No. I'm gonna bench boost in 12 when he plays Fulham.
Yeah.
So that's when I need him. And in terms of like what players I'm considering, obviously, of course, people want to know. I'll probably say if I was to say Waltermart, I'm looking at Thiago and Welbeck. Welbeck and Gakpo is for either Bruno or Mbemo. Those are the picks I'm looking at. But yeah,
it's a good team. Okay, cool. To my team, I finally reversed my silly Gabriel transfer last week. We don't need to discuss that, but it was a good week for me. The DEFCON boys returning again. Paqueta, Bruno. I nailed my 50-50 with Paqueta, which was really nice. Lacroix came through with the DEFCON, the cleans. Feel like I'm in a good position this week. Looking just to roll. Like, yes, I don't have any Chelsea, but it's a short-term pick. Let the Spencers and the Kaymans, let them get the points in the short term. We'll win the long term. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Sorry, guys. What do you guys think? High 9 out of 10, Kayman? High 9 out of 10?
I mean, I'm in 2 million. You're in what? 3?
No, I'm not talking about rank. I'm talking about my bus team for next week.
Your team is 10 out of 10, regardless of how your team looks. As long as it's giving you points week to week, it's a 10 out of 10. And you just had 86 point week, so it has to be 10 out of 10. I mean, I'm doing something. I gotta fix up on my team. In terms of advice,
I'll give you props.
Yeah,
I'll give you props for starting Paqueta because I've seen so many people have him first bench.
exactly. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. People told me, like, back four is the play, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not benching a pen taker who has DEFCON potential himself. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you'd have come to me and asked that question, I would have said stop Paqueta. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the stat with was it between Senesi?
Yeah, Senesi Paqueta, yeah. Senesi
Paqueta. So you're just hoping that he gets 2 extra points.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems a bit mad. I know Paqueta loves a yellow card, but
he got yellow card. I think it's 3 games in a row he's got a yellow card. I'm so sick of him.
He just fancies a week off, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, 100%. He after Burnley, I'm gonna go Minte and just ride it out, ride the storm out. Is basically what I'm thinking. But I've got all the guys. Like I got Mateta, Haaland, Saka, got the triple Arsenal. Like I'm in no position to move anything. The one thing I did want to ask is, do you think this is a bench boost time? Because I do think Krupi gets 30 minutes this week, and while the longer I sit on Krupi, the more time that gives Evanilson to come back and take minutes from him. Whereas, like, if Evanilson gets to start, I don't think he's going to last more than 60. It'll be his first game in, like, 2-3 weeks? So, I look at it like, but the thing is, I don't think Dubravka is going to clean. I honestly think Leeds are going to hold at least 2. And Burn, I just don't see points here on the bench. But is it worth getting out of the way? What do you guys think?
I think I would bench boost. I think I would bench boost this team if I had this team. It's just whether you think Krupi starts or not. All
right, vote Kayman. He's the imposter, bro. He's the imposter. I'm joking.
You're already in a dead spot striker, so I wouldn't bench boost. I would wait for 2 home fixtures for Rodon and Dubravka because the newly promoted teams, like all the other teams, it's not just newly promoted bias. They're all better at home.
Yeah.
And surely there'll be another
Fulham at home
game
16.
week where they have. Yeah, I would wait for them.
Yeah, and you never know. By then, you might have moved into a different formation with the Krupi out or something like that, and you might have a more favorable bench boost. So, I think I'd hold off on that one personally. But it's difficult.
Yeah.
If Evan Nelson has a setback or something like that, and maybe have a look at it, but I don't know. I'd probably just leave it.
I'm saying bench boost with in mind that Krupi starts. By the way, I'm not saying you bench boost.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I clarified.
He could start.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. Because if he starts, he has the potential to return like a goal. So if he gives you a 6 to 9 pointer there, and then one of the guys clean, either Rodon or Burn or Dubravka, that's a successful bench boost.
It would be Burn.
You just need 2 returns.
Rodon's not going to clean. No way.
I just don't like 4 away fixtures on the bench.
Me too. I don't think Burnley. I mean, Burnley away have been pretty bad. So, yeah, not for me. I'm not. I think I'm with you guys. I think I might just hold it one more. Cool. We're gonna jump quickly to Stock's team, and then we'll go to the peer pressure, and then we're out of here to watch the champs.
Yeah, 10 million game week rank. That's got to be a new achievement, right? I was 300k and I dropped to 1.2 mil, but so my team was very fucked. Still is to an extent. Still got Gordon Reinders. I'm finally moving to where I want to be. I had to eat I knew it would be a suffering week, but to give 40 points to the field is mental. Because that's what I did. I was 9 points above Benjy, and now I'm 32 behind you, aren't I, Benjy?
Yeah.
So I said to myself, look, I'm going to suffer this week, but I think the issue I made was because I hit SAKA in to change my structure and get rid of issues. I essentially pressured myself into captaining him to kind of justify the hit, whereas I should have stuck with Haaland, because on the pod all week I was on Haaland captain. But I can't complain too much because I just think Saka should have scored one of those chances, and if he does, it's not looking as bad as what it is. But it definitely wasn't the week to go against Haaland, and big moves will be made this week and next week, and I think I'll recover my position quite quickly.
For sure. I think you got... Look, if you look at the SAKA cap decision on base value, you got 90 minutes. His XGI was over 1. He had a 1-on-1 and another big chance inside the 18-yard box in the first half alone. He also got clean sheet point, and if he had bagged one chance, he's probably maxing bonus. So, like, yes, Haaland cap was the right decision, but I do think variance wasn't on your side this week, and you will bounce back. I still like parts of your teams. You have some good differentials, few moves to make. You'll be back, bro. Spencer, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, as a manager myself, I'm quite risk averse. I think I went at least over a season without taking a hit. And that's not from like saying like, oh, my team was perfect. It was more the fact that I was just like scared of the -4, and I know how it feels when you do take one, and I've done it before when you sell a player and then kind of blindly kind of just think, oh well, I've brought them in and they've got Burnley or they've got Leeds. I've got to captain them, and just kind of like fooling yourself into it. I'm not saying it's necessarily about it was more of a bad outcome rather than a bad decision, but yeah, it's pretty harsh on the variance there for you, Stark. But
For sure.
yeah,
What can
the team looks fine.
What can you do when your
Yeah.
penalty taking differential gets subbed off at halftime against West Ham? Like, I'm not expecting the world from you, but to
Yeah.
get subbed off at halftime in a prime fixture, it's just one of them ones where you're just like,
And the fact that
"Don't
Ariola
take
started
risks, be
playing
boring."
like a goalkeeper. I mean, he made one
He
great
could have
save.
scored, yeah. Oh man, you just reminded me. He should have scored that. I thought he
sorry.
didn't do much wrong. He didn't do much wrong. Oh, you've just reminded me of that chance. What? How did he save that?
Yeah, I mean,
Bro.
he's been awful. Like West Ham have been so bad, and I don't know. It might be a bit of hindsight now. Like people saying, "Oh, West Ham, like they've still got some good players. Like they got Bowen and Wan-Bissaka and people like that." I'm like, I think they just played Newcastle at a good time. I don't know. It's pretty unlucky that Newcastle turned up and decided to give away 3 points to West Ham like a charity for some reason.
Yeah.
So,
I think
Sure.
that would be a trend this year. I think Newcastle would be doing that more often than not, in especially in away games, and the reason why they can't manage the midweek games with the squad that they have.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately.
also think, when you have Croft and Burn as your fullbacks, there's a systematic issue. And, Trippier, Livermento, injuries, that just doesn't help the system. They haven't won an away game. I think it's their longest streaks for, I think, 5-6 years now, something like that. Like, it's a shocking record away from home that Eddie Howe needs to fix. But peer pressure team times, the podcast team, not sure if you're familiar, Spencer, but we'll run through it just quickly. It's basically our joint team that we drafted. We all have vetoes that we can use on your decision, and you get the peer power, which means you can make any one decision on a team. That can be a captaincy change, that can be a 2 transfer combo, it could be a chip activation, whatever you like to do. We'll let you have a look at the team. We'll also be drawing the pressure point, which is the random wheel spinner, which will pick one name, and that guy will get one decision this week, or he can bank it for the future week. 0 vetoes left for myself, 1 left for Kayman, and 2 left for Stark. We'll go to the spinner wheel. So, oh my god. Yes. Okay, cool. We got a chance, guys. Hold that, Kayman. But Kayman, you don't have a banked, right? Oh, jeez. All right.
See you later, Benjy
It
boy.
sucks.
See you later.
It's Stock's
You hold
decision
that.
this week. This is the
hold that.
team. I'll let you have a little looky at it. Okay, cool. So we have Petrovic, Gabriel. We have not changed the team at all. We do not change the team out of like the pod episodes, basically. We have one free transfer. Actually, let me just do this. This will be much easier for you to have a look at. 1.8 million in the bank. Wow, we have a lot of money. We have Mateta. We have Benjy. We bench Paqueta. What are we looking like for this week? Let's actually just go here. Surely we get Paqueta in the 11, right, guys? We don't need to use a decision on that, do we?
He was supposed to be a sell. We're supposed to sell him. He's a bum. This time the other. Stock said to bench him. What happened?
He's got Burnley, mate.
I'm joking. Let's just go. Let's play him. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just
It was
say
my
we...
transfer. It was my transfer in, mate. How about that one? It was my
obviously
transfer in.
Spencer has priority. With or maybe Spencer wants to go for a SAKA captaincy against his own team. Who knows what he wants to do? I'm not gonna. Oh,
So my one decision I get right is, what do you mean, like transfer or
so it
or
could be
obviously with the captaincy I could we can move that to Haaland, but obviously we've got Gabriel at the minute, haven't we?
yeah,
Is that
from
right?
last week, yeah, because Stock did that, which was decent.
I feel like we could make a. Is it?
You can make the transfer,
we move
like
Walter.
whatever you.
I'm happy to
you
let
always move his priority. So
we could do something mad like Voltamada out for João Pedro.
Pedro. Oh my goodness.
No, I think let's just Stark. You pick the transfer.
You do what you want.
And then I'll go.
You do what,
I'll say. Let's go.
You do what you want.
Haaland captain. Yeah, no, I don't know because it's.
You do what.
This is the thing, right? If I do João Pedro, right, for Voltamada, and he goes up again, then we've got triple again. Wait, is it? We haven't got Caicedo, have we? Or we do, don't we?
Yeah, we have.
We don't have
Caicedo.
Enzo, so
We have Caicedo.
yeah. It's just
Bro,
really
do what you
tempting
want to do.
because Wolves are so bad.
The thing is, if you really wanted to, Spencer, you could bring in Gyokeres. Like you could do whatever you want.
Well, it's
like,
gonna get
genuinely.
vetoed. I'd hope it would get vetoed. I'd hope.
I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I'm just letting you know.
Cayman. Yeah, that veto ready, Cayman, bro.
I'm only just looking at the team now, so I'm just trying to like think off the top of my head things you could do with this team.
I
But
think
the midfield is fine.
I think
the midfield, I don't want to touch the
defense
midfield.
looks
And defense
decent
is
as
fine.
well, don't you think? I think the defense is okay for this week. Like,
Wait, we've only got 2 Arsenal, haven't we?
yeah, we have.
We got enough to get. We got enough to get one of the big
Yeah, we
boys in
got
at the back.
1.8 mil. We have 1.8 mil. So we could go like. We could go Rodon to Calafiori, I guess.
No.
It's Timber or bust.
My decision.
Timber or bust.
My decision would be. My decision this week is roll the transfer.
Okay. You didn't fancy a bit of triple Arsenal.
No, because if anything, I think a bench boost this week wouldn't be bad, and then next week with 2 free transfers, we could potentially
switch the
move.
Structure.
We could move Paqueta to Bruno, Waltamada to Mark Yu, and we've used the bench boost. So
definitely Haaland cap this week though. I think
Vice, just in case he gets injured. Saka.
Gabriel.
Wow, he's back in
that sweet DEFCON.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 0-0.
0-0, yeah. Oh my, no way, bro. Kayman's gonna lose it with more points on his bench. Kayman, did you know that in our Twitter Spaces league, you have the second most bench points in the entire league?
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah. Sorry to let you know, but that's shows
fine.
variance this season. Okay, Paqueta in for Walty, right?
Activate bench boost. Keep Paqueta on the bench.
Bench boost.
Bench. Senesi good for DEFCON. Anderson good for DEFCON. Dubravka playing West Ham. Paqueta playing against Burnley. One of them could give you something.
Enough.
Get the bench boost out of the way. Move Waltamada to Mark Yu next week. Bring Bruno in for Paqueta.
Yeah, I like those moves. Cayman, any veto or no?
No, I still have my decision as well, so go ahead.
What decision?
I haven't used my decision yet.
Bro, where did you get a decision from, bro?
No, it was banked, bro. Remember, I banked that. I never used it, bro.
Okay. We'll allow it.
It was banked, bro. I've never used it. Remember, I was supposed to use
Okay,
the bench boost,
I'll
but
trust you. I'll
and I
trust you
never
on
used
it.
the decision on it.
So you're gonna use any
So I
decision
still
then
have to
this
do.
week?
No, you got. Well, Stock made 2 decisions. I don't know how.
You can take one away from me. Take one away from me if you want. Do what you think's best for the team. I don't care how
No,
many.
but
I
I'm
don't care
saying,
if I have 0 decisions. I'm just trying to do what's best for the team.
okay, but I thought that's the rule, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, what decision
Step
would you
in.
like to make, mate?
Well, thank you for asking first and foremost. What was Stock's decision?
He rolled the transfer, and then we
He rolled the
decided on a
transfer.
Take that decision.
consensus.
Benji, take that decision away from me, right? Forget the rolling. Rolling shouldn't even be a decision, right? My decision is the bench boost.
Bench boost, okay. Bench boost. So you can use a
Yeah, I don't need
transfer
to
if you
veto that,
want.
then that's fine. Then well, I don't need to choose the transfer because the team is fine.
Yeah, I agree. The team looks pretty good this
Then
week.
that's fine.
Cool.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't need to veto it as well. I think it's fine. Bench boost is good as well.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Yep.
Although the captaincy, I can I use my decision on captaincy?
No, that was Spencer's decision. Unless you
Okay.
want to veto Spencer and then go for your own cap.
No, that's fine.
You sure?
Maybe I'll use it next week. I'll decide the captaincy next week. Maybe I'll have a fun with it on the peer pressure team next week.
Yeah, I'm trying to rework the rules so I can get 2 vetoes back. So
No, you're not getting no vetoes back. Bro. I'm
Nah,
picking the
there's gotta be a
captain next
way.
week.
Um,
I'm picking the captain next week. That's where I have fun.
but yeah, it's been a great episode, Spencer. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. You will be on Clash of the Correspondents, I believe, Sunderland Arsenal, probably Thursday-ish, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, that should be out Thursday.
Nice.
So I'll be on with James and Adam as well.
Nice.
So yeah, it should be a good one. Tune in if you've not listened before. It's all the Planet stuff's unreal, so
Yeah,
it's well worth a listen.
I always listen. I was listening to Sunderland Burnley Clash of Correspondents a few weeks back, and I was like, yeah, I was listening. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Dubravka and Estev. Got the double clean, but it was good.
Yeah, that was a tough moment.
It was a tough moment, but yeah, it was good. Thank you so much for coming on. By the way, it was great. I feel like we got some good
thanks,
insight on. By the way, one last question before we leave: if you couldn't captain Haaland, which attacker would you cap? Not just in your team, like any.
I think I'd just go for Bruno.
Bruno.
Risk it.
Fair enough. Okay.
Dr. Tottenham.
Sweet. Thank you guys for watching. We'll speak to you in the next one after the international break.